It's Monday, March 10th, 2025. Let me start by saying this. Wow, what a day. Markets absolutely got wrecked today. We are seeing so much volatility in these markets now, and I think a lot of people are beginning to realize that the markets may not be as safe and sound as they once thought that they were. As I've been saying for a while, these markets are long overdue for a huge correction, a huge collapse, and today's just another warning sign. No, they did not collapse, they did not crash, but Dow Jones down nearly 900 points, NASDAQ down 727. By the way, Dow Jones was down over 1,100 at one point. Gold, as I make this video, is down $16, sitting at $2,898. Bitcoin's down $3,000, sitting at $79,000. So we have fears of tariffs. We have fears of economic slowdown. We have fears of the unknown, uncertainty, and yes, of course, we have now fears of recession, which we've been in recession for a couple of years. But they're now talking more and more about this recession. Donald Trump was interviewed over the weekend, and he said that he does not rule out recession. And he knows very well that we've been in a recession and it's going to get much, much worse. Now, I don't know if this is the administration's plan, if this is their strategy to crash everything and reset it, revaluation, repatriation of gold. There's so much happening behind the scenes, nobody really knows. But I will say this, one thing I know is I've never seen a time in our history as I'm seeing right now. The division, the volatility, the uncertainty, these stock market moves, this is getting really, really interesting. And I hope that all of you are protecting yourself. Gold and silver held pretty stable today when you look at what took place in these markets. Silver was down a bit, gold down $16, not too bad. It's probably a good time, not financial advice, that you be adding this stuff to your portfolio. A little bit of silver right here in this bag, and I want to bring something up. You know, when you get an order, say you order something from SD Bullion, if you need a reputable place to order your gold and silver from, go to SD Bullion, link down below. A lot of people continue to ask me, where do I put it? Do I put it in the bank? Where do I put it? That's up to you. Last place I would put gold and silver or any hard asset would be in a bank or a safe deposit box in a bank, or even, to me personally, I don't even deal with private vaults. This is a great, great option right here. This is the Dirty Man Safe. There's a link down below. You bury this under the ground. This is, in my opinion alone, one of the safest places you can put your assets like gold, silver, diamonds. You can vacuum seal it. Any documents, they have 3 different sizes. You put it in this, you bury it under the ground. It is, in my opinion, one of the safest places you can put it. If there's a tornado, there's an earthquake, there's a fire, there's a break-in at your house, right here. Right here, one of the best places you can put it. Dirty Man Safe. Link down below. A lot of you have been buying it. A lot of people that watch this channel have been purchasing this little safe. I think it's a fantastic idea. Here's one from Market Watch. Stock market uncertainty can trigger panic selling. Here's a better option. I'm not going to go through the article, but I do want to say this. We saw a lot of selling today. We've been seeing a lot more selling. We know that the billionaires have been getting out of this market over the past year. At some point, you're going to see a rush to the exits. You're going to see so many sellers trying to get out of these markets. They're going to be falling over one another. They're just not going to be enough exits to get out. And a lot of people are going to take a massive haircut. And I do believe you're going to see this in housing too. And you're starting to see more and more people putting homes on the markets, trying to get out. They're still overpriced, but you're going to begin to see a rush to the exits across the board. And so if you're a seller, you better be careful, and you better be paying attention to what's going on. If you're selling a piece of real estate right now, you need to be the next sale on your block. You need to be the best price home on your block to be that next sale. How Beyond Meat and the plant-based industry lost their allure. I've never ate this garbage, never would. But you know, this Beyond Meat company has lost $160 million. Their stock at one point was as high as $234 a share. Today it's trading at $3.35 a share. To me, this is complete garbage. I do not want to eat anything that is created by man in a laboratory. This stuff to me is one of the unhealthiest things you could be eating. If you want to eat good meat, go buy from a butcher who deals with a private ranch. Deal with a private rancher. Stay away from the stuff with hormones and drugs, and stay away from plant-based stuff. Anything made in a laboratory, I think, is one of the most unhealthy things you could put in your body. Tesla shares plunged 15%, head for worst day in 5 years. They're down 50% from their high. Watching an interview with Elon Musk earlier today on Larry Kudlow, great interview, and it doesn't even faze him. What he's doing right now with Doge it seems to be his passion. He's willing to sacrifice the money. He lost, I think, $150 billion in net worth since December, and he just laughs it off. He just does not want to see America continue in bankruptcy. He doesn't want to see America hurt anymore with this theft of trillions of dollars and the bankruptcy that we're in right now. And so he just thinks what he's doing really is his passion, and he just wants to do what's right. Let me know your thoughts on that. I know there's people that love him, there's people that hate him. Nvidia down 30% from high as tech-led sell-off hits Magnificent Seven. Down 5% today, down 22% year to date. The Magnificent Seven isn't looking so magnificent. And if something happens to the Magnificent Seven or one or two of these companies, the entire stock market is going to be in very, very big trouble. And you know, what's interesting is when you see these tech companies have a bad day, when you see the NASDAQ have a bad day, you see Bitcoin and the cryptos get absolutely clobbered. Look, if you're buying the dip, God bless you. I truly do believe this is gambling. But if you have money to gamble, money to lose, you know, it's probably a good time to, you know, to buy in the dip. Me personally, I'm looking, you know, at protecting wealth, not gambling right now. I just see trouble on the horizon, ladies and gentlemen. Elon Musk says X facing massive cyber attack. Vows to find out who did it. This was interesting. Larry Kudlow asked him today who did this, and they have evidence that it's some group out of the Ukraine. Evidence that some group out of the Ukraine cyber attacked X, shut it down for a while. He did not seem happy about this, but I do believe they will find out who did it. He says that it was done by somebody very large that had the resources. A large coordinated group or a country was involved. And they're saying now, this was earlier in the day, just about an hour ago on Kudlow, he says they now have evidence that it came out of Ukraine. So who knows? Is this somebody that doesn't like him? Is it the globalists? Is it the deep state? Is it Soros? Who knows? This is getting absolutely out of control, but a serious attack on X today. And we all need to think about it because these cyber attacks are hitting your water facilities, military bases, airports, hospitals, police stations, sewage treatment plants, you name it. They're hitting everything here in America. And so you have to think at some point we're going to get hit hard to where things are going to be shut down for more than an hour. So do you have the resources to survive for, say, 5, 6, 7 days, a week, 2 weeks? Do you have the resources? Do you have barterable items? Do you have food? Do you have water? Do you have the skills? Do you have the training? Can you protect yourself, your family, and your assets? Because I'll tell you, from what I see, my observations, you shut the power off in the United States of America and you shut the food off for 5 days, this is going to look like a third world country literally overnight. There will be so much crime. It will be absolutely out of control. I was watching the Sean Ryan podcast last night, the retired Navy SEAL, and he had Travis Haley on. I'm a big fan of Travis Haley, a well-respected guy in the community. And Travis was saying that we have 33,000 gangs in America, 8 cartels operating in America, 40 million people illegally in this country. So you tell me, if the lights go out for 3, 4, 5 days, you think it's going to be safe? You think it's going to be a nice time? People are going to just be sitting outside, sitting around a fire with marshmallows? You got some really bad players out here, but you look at the gang epidemic, the cartels that are in here, and of course the 40 million people that we have no idea who they are, who've been coming over here for years. You better be really, really prepared for what could happen, ladies and gentlemen, and what probably is going to happen. Late car payments rise to highest level in 30 years. We've talked about this over the last couple weeks. Auto loan borrowers are dropping like flies. Subprime borrowers 60 days past due, 60 days plus, 6.56%. It's a big number. Older Americans amassing credit card debt to cover expenses, AARP finds. These people are going to be in very, very big trouble as this economy continues to plummet. And I've been pleading with people over the years to not get themselves into this situation. Live below your means, pay off the debts, don't get into debt, don't run up those credit cards, avoid these things at all costs like rat poison. And a lot of people just got bamboozled, they got suckered into the debt, they couldn't resist, the temptation was just too much. More than 1/3 of Americans over 50 with credit card debt said their balances are higher this year than they were last year. Nearly half of Americans aged 50 and older with credit card debt are now using credit cards to cover basic expenses, basic living expenses. I know there are people out there that will say it's never too late. It's not too late to prepare. Unfortunately, for a lot of people, for millions of people, people like this, it's too late for these people. Unless a miracle takes place, unless, they hit some money, in Vegas or something, which they shouldn't be gambling, or they win the lottery, they're going to be in big trouble. It's too late. And we just have to be realistic here. The people who have not been paying attention over the years are more than likely in big trouble now, because many of these people, their wages are not keeping up with inflation. They've lost jobs. Their spouses have lost jobs. Their credit's been decimated. There's just no way now to prepare, and they're going to be victims of the worst economic collapse the world has seen. HousingWire.com survey: nearly 90% of homeowners are worried about selling. So they fear having to accept a lowball offer. I said a long, long time ago, don't be greedy. This market was changing. 2022 is over. That lottery dream is ended. Don't be greedy. And people still, right now, in 2025, think it's still 2022. And greed kills, ladies and gentlemen. They never seem to learn. You got to be the best price house on the block now to get out. Prices are going down. You have way too many people losing jobs. I'm sure that there's homes in escrow today that are falling out because people are watching the stock market. They're invested in it. Their 401ks, their retirements are in it, and they're taking a big hit today again. And they're beginning to get very, very nervous. And they're thinking, do we really want to take on a $500,000 mortgage, a $700,000-800,000 mortgage? Probably not. Now, I was looking at a house that I looked at back in October. It was still in the market. Last week, it went into escrow. Yesterday, it's back out of escrow. And I've seen this happen so much. Now, the prices come down a little bit since October, not much, about $25,000. But it's sitting there at the same price that it was when it went into escrow for it sat many months before it went into escrow with this price reduction. Now it's fallen out of escrow back on the market at the same reduced price. It's never going to sell at that price. It's never going to sell at that price. They need to lower this house probably $100,000 to $150,000 to really get an offer on it. But it's amazing. I watch the market so closely, the housing market, and I see homes that have been out for so long. Another home that I looked at, it's been on the market for over 300 days. It's in escrow. It's been in escrow for probably almost 3 months now. And that tells me it's probably not going to close and it'll be back on the market. So, seeing these homes 200, 300 plus days on the market is very, very common. When are the sellers going to wake up and realize it ain't going to happen? You got to get real. You really have to get real. And there's going to be more competition coming that's going to push prices down. Job losses is going to push prices down. The economy is going to force prices down. You're just going to have less people willing and qualified to buy these homes. Doge says $312 million in loans were given to children during the health crisis. Are you okay with this? I mean, whatever side of the aisle you're on politically, is it okay that $312 million in loans were given to children during the health crisis? Now, this is all just more fraud that we're finding. Anybody that does not believe that this is criminal and should be stopped, I think you're really acting as a traitor to the United States of America. Anybody that just thinks fraud and theft to the taxpayer is acceptable and should be allowed, that is treasonous to me. That is absolutely immoral, in my opinion. And I hope people really wake up and stop being so political and start really respecting and caring for this country, or we're going to lose it. And people have no idea what they are playing with. They are playing with fire here with this country. We lose this country. This country goes bankrupt. We lose our purchasing power. We lose the world reserve currency. If you think the food lines are bad now, if you think your life is tough now, you ain't seen nothing. But the disdain and hatred for this country is incredible. And yet these people still want to live here. They don't want to go anywhere else. They just want to continue to stay here and destroy this country. Again, if somebody was stealing your money out of your bank account, would that be okay with you? That's exactly what they're doing to everybody here right now. You're worried about your Medicare, your Medicaid, your Social Security, but yet you're not worried about all this fraud. What do you think is going to take your Medicare and Social Security away? It's going to be all this fraud. It's going to be this debt. It's going to be a bankruptcy here in America. It's going to be absolutely catastrophic if this continues to go on. And people are going to sit there and wonder, well, why did this happen? Well, it must have been, this president's fault or that president's fault or this politician. No, it's because you allowed all of this crime to continue. And now we know who's doing it, and we see where it's happening, and nobody wants to do anything about it. Potential Tesla buyers may think twice if people's cars are in jeopardy of being keyed, says analysts. This is on CNBC. This is really, really sad. People are animals. People have no respect for other people's property, no respect for their life. They have no respect for the law. They have no respect for the police. They have no respect for you. So somebody works hard, goes out and buys an $80,000 car, and they don't like what Elon Musk says. They're going to take it out on your car, on your dealership. You may be the most liberal person on planet Earth, but because you choose to drive a Tesla, your car may be vandalized. You okay with that? And, I just don't see much being done. I see these people acting like maniacs in front of the dealerships. They're burning dealerships. They're burning cars. They're vandalizing the dealerships. And they just get away with this stuff. There's absolutely no regard for a business, for other people's property, for the law. Again, many of the owners have nothing to do with this. They just like the car. Maybe they bought the car 5 years ago, 3 years ago, and now you think that it's okay that, because you don't like what Elon Musk is doing or what he said, that, I'm just going to go key this person's car or maybe break their windows or flatten their tires or anything like that. Unbelievable. People used to respect other people's stuff. They respected your car. I mean, now if you park too close, people just open their car door up on your car. They cut in front of you. We talked about this yesterday. If you didn't see yesterday's video, please check it out. People really have no respect for you. The way they walk in front of you, drive in front of you, cut in front of you. It's just the society today. If you think society isn't collapsing, I don't know where you've been. It's collapsing right before your very eyes. You know, you go out to shop at the grocery store, you go out to dinner, people wearing their slippers, wearing their pajamas out to dinner, or to, you know, to a grocery store, to Costco. You know, I go to a Costco, I see people walking around in their pajamas and slippers. I mean, where do these people grow up at? I guess this is when you have, you know, homes in America, you know, the family has just been broken up, and you know, all these people come from broken homes. I guess this is what it produces: people walking around in pajamas and slippers. Nobody has any respect to what they look like. I mean, unfortunately, and I don't mean to be critical here, but you know, when you go to a store, when I go out in public, go to a mall, go to the grocery store, go to a Costco, I look at people, I'm observant of people, and I see so many people, especially younger people, that are, you know, 100 pounds overweight. They look like, I mean, they look like blobs, like walking blobs. And again, this isn't to humiliate anybody. If you're one of these people, you could begin to change this today. You could get out, start walking, doing something, getting to the gym, change your diet. You can do something today, starting today. You don't have to be a blob. But when I grew up as a kid, we never saw this. Like, I never saw this I went to 4 different high schools. 4 different high schools. It's a long story. But I went to 4 different high schools. And every high school I went to, you just didn't see people walking around looking like blobs. Everybody was in good shape. You went to the beach, people looked in good shape. Just society looked healthier, right? And now I see people of all ages walking around. They don't even walk. They kind of like just, you know, hobble along. What type of life is that? Is that the life you want? You don't have to have that life. You can change your diet. You can start working out. You can do something about it. Because if you continue on this path, you're gonna die young. You're gonna have a very unhealthy life. You're prone to multiple diseases. You'll never enjoy your family. You'll never enjoy life to the fullest. You're so limited. And as things get worse in this country, you may have to be mobile. You may have to get off the X. You may have to get moving at some point. You may encounter violence. You don't want to be stuck. And if you're immobile and you can't move, or you can't move for more than 10 seconds without passing out, you're going to be in big trouble. I want everybody watching this video to be healthy, strong, active, mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. I want that for everybody. I don't wish anybody any ill will. I don't want anybody to have an unhealthy life. I want everybody to have a good, long, healthy life. And the healthier we all are, the better off the entire country is. And again, I don't mean to be critical of anybody or judgmental. It's an observation, and it's me caring for people who need help, maybe, you know, that need some motivation, and just think that, you know, they can't do anything about it. Of course you can do something about it. You would be amazed if you changed your diet and worked out regularly for 6 months. You would never look back. You'll never look back. So again, you can change this. This is not a life sentence. Anybody watching this video today who is overweight, unhealthy, you can change this beginning today. Call a nutritionist. Get a good nutritionist. Get a trainer. Get to the gym. Start walking. Ride a bike a little bit. You don't have to run a marathon today. Just go walk around the block. Just start moving. The hardest step is the first step. You know, just like in jiu-jitsu or boxing, the hardest thing to do is to walk through the door. And if you're thinking about getting into boxing or jiu-jitsu, a Muay Thai, anything like that, people are really, really scared about doing it because they just, the scariest thing is just walking through the door. I guarantee you, if you walk through the door, you'll be back. Most people who walk through the door the first time, they've already conquered their fear. They'll be back, and they'll be training on a regular basis. So, you know, get off the couch, walk around the block one time, you know, get to the studio, to that jiu-jitsu studio. Just walk through the door. I guarantee you're probably going to meet a really good group of people. You'll have a great trainer, a great coach, and it could change your life. And it changes your life in so many different dimensions. But I don't want to rant about that. Again, you know, we're heading into some very, very bad times. There's a lot of really bad people out there, and people who just really don't care about how hard you worked for your car, your house, you know, your assets. They're willing to take them, they're willing to destroy them, and it's a really sad state of affairs here in America that we have people that just think it's okay to put their hands on you or to destroy your car, destroy your business, destroy your house because they don't like who you support, maybe the shirt you're wearing, what you're saying, they don't like it. So be careful out there, ladies and gentlemen. There are some psychopaths, there are lunatics, and you really have to be careful out there. But this thing's really accelerating. It is really accelerating. Of course, the trade war, all that is playing into a lot of the volatility in this market, and I'm sure it's going to get more intense, probably especially with China. So we'll see how it all plays out. At the end of the day, you cannot control this. All you can control is you, what you're doing. So are you getting in better shape? Are you paying off the debts? Are you working those side hustles? Are you adding skills? Are you at the range? Are you at the gym? Did you add a little extra food this week when you went to the grocery store? A little more canned food, a couple more cases of water. Make sure you put food away for your animals too. Nugget says to say hi. She's over here taking a little nap. I'm going to leave it there today. God bless every one of you. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. Crazy times. Be careful.